Greetings and salutations, I'm Sky, and today I'll be walking you through how I made this pop art acrylic painting. I'm starting out with a purple underpainting over top of my sketch. This helps me to remember what color the painting is going to be since I'm doing a series of 5 of these. It also helps me if the canvas pokes through a little bit in the end painting since it won't be bright white. My inspiration for this painting was a mix of pop art, old comic books, and those paintings you see of like dogs playing poker and stuff. I went for a hipster vibe with this one, with a beanie, infinity scarf, vest, glasses, the works. I'm not sure why, but red pandas have always kind of given me that hipster energy. I normally work with watercolors, so I'll do the line art first, but since this is acrylic, I'm starting off by blocking in the colors, and I'll do the line art last. Blocking in the colors and shapes helps me to remember what the undersketch looked like, since I won't be able to see that once it's painted. Since this painting is more complicated on the color scale, I have a thumbnail sketch that I've already done for the colors. I don't always do this, but for a painting like this where it's, like I said, more complicated color-wise, I'll do that to make sure all my colors work together in harmony. I'm working mostly wet on wet for this painting, and what I mean by that is I'm working on specific areas and not letting them fully dry because I want to get that blended, smooth look. I'm also using a larger quantity of paint for these areas, so that way I don't get that canvas texture interfering. I am using the canvas texture with a dry brushing technique to get the comic book speckling, old printing style look. I think my favorite part is probably the line art, but my second favorite part has to be the shading. It's also the most complicated part and takes the longest. After I go in and I block in some shapes of the colors, I'll start adding in the shading. Like I said, I'm doing most of this wet on wet, so I'm jumping around the canvas a lot more, doing more rendering in the areas that I've just painted instead of what I usually do, which is go around the canvas to make sure that I'm evenly distributing detail. I actually took a break in the middle of painting this. You'll see that my setup changes halfway through this video, so sorry about that. But the reason why I did that is I was having a hard time getting through the ugly phase of the painting, and I needed a break to step back. And in that period, my equipment got a upgrade, so just so you know, that's what that is. Once I came back from my little break, I went in and painted all the extra detailing stuff, did some more shading and highlighting, the line art, and working on the glasses and the eyes in particular. I'm really happy with how the eyes turned out. I think they have a lot of depth. And to cap it all off, I pulled off that tape that I was using to mask off the background so that way I don't make a mess. And I did a little bit of cleanup work. This time I actually added a little bit of water to my acrylics for the line art. I found that helped give me a smoother application of paint. And that's it. Thanks for hanging out with me, my lovelies. Hope you learned something new. Catch you later.